So we ready? Okay, let me check. Adam, can you hear us?
Yes, I can, Commissioner.
And Spencer, you can hear us too? I can't hear you, Spencer.
He needs to unmute himself.
He's looking,
He's still muted.
still muted. I love the modern technology. When it works, we can do it.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you fine, Spencer. Thank you. Okay, I think we're all here
Awesome,
then.
thank you.
Okay.
Yep.
Then we'd like to go ahead and welcome everyone here and welcome and call to order and begin our Soldier Summit Special Service District meeting for today. I'd like to ask for a motion to approve the minutes from February 10th Soldier Summit District meeting. Any comments?
I have read and would make a motion to approve those minutes.
Spencer?
I'll go ahead and second that motion.
Okay, so we have a motion, a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 That's a 3-0. Okay, item number 3. Discuss the Allward water usage and potential agreements. Do we have any staff here to discuss this?
Brady, you probably have more knowledge on this than anyone. Would you mind enlightening us?
Brady Christensen, Utah County Public Works. As I was mentioning to Mike earlier, I've reached out to the Allreds 3 different times with emails, and I'm not getting any response. We have not received any payment for water use for 2020. So we do have some phone numbers. I think Mike said he had one, and I found one yesterday, so I'll try making some phone calls to see if we can get that arranged. And then I guess as a board, we need to make a final decision on how we want to charge them. Do we want to charge them a connection fee like we charge the property owners plus water usage, or do we want to stay as we've been doing? I guess that's what we need to make a decision on.
What we've been doing, just waiting for them to.
Well, they usually will tell us how much they've used, and then we'll figure the electricity cost. But I think in the long run, it would probably be better just to have them pay the connected fee, which I believe is 40-something a month. Is that right? I'm not sure without looking at the cost, but then we would just charge them for the gallons of water that they use. Just for the 6 months that they are up on the mountain, or the 4 months that they're there, we charge them that fee. And I don't want to I think we discussed this last time, we don't want to make it feel to them like we're taking them advantage of them, because it actually is a benefit to the subdivision up there to have them in there for your tax purposes. So
if I understand that correctly, Brady, you're saying just charge them months that they're using the water.
Right, we won't charge them a charge, and that's how we did it the first year before they own water. We charged them a connection fee of the $43 a month, and then whatever water they used. Where the last couple of years we've charged them for the electricity to get the water they're using out of it, because they own the water, so we couldn't charge them for water. But where they don't own it anymore, we need to probably change how we bill that.
And they're hooking into fire hydrants, right? To get the
We
water.
talked about using meters and stuff, but that would be, I think, get too difficult. Their herders aren't going to move the meter every time they need water. So I think if we just know that they pay the 40, so what's that, $240 a year, that plus the use of the water. That way at least they're paying some electricity costs to get the water there, and then we just charge them a flat rate on water. We don't want to get where we bill them for water above the 12,000 gallons, because I think that would get way expensive for them. But that's whatever you folks think we need to do. We just need to get a policy in place so we know what to charge them.
I think that would be the fair way to do it.
Yeah, I do too. Spencer, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think that would be fine. I think simpler is better.
Okay.
I agree.
So what motion do we want to put forward this, that we have, charge them the $43?
I think we probably need something from the attorney's office written up. Adam, I think this is a whole different direction than what we were going before, but I think with Ben and you, maybe we sat down and let's get something put together so at least the Allreds know what we're doing for them.
I might recommend
Okay.
that it would be the connected commercial rate
Right.
rather than the connected residential rate, which would be a little more than $46.50 a month.
And I think that's probably good. And they're only paying that $50 a month or whatever for the 5 months that they're up there. And then plus their water usage, so. And they'll just have to still estimate that for us for the 5 months that they're there.
And this at least provide a standard for us to follow and use it for everyone else too. Okay.
So,
So,
Janine, what's the commercial rate?
It is $64.50 per month.
Okay. Do you want to see this in a motion? You want to see this as a motion?
it sounds like we want to continue this discussions to allow the lawyers to develop the direction we're going with this.
Yeah, that's what we would recommend. This is Ben Stanley from the Attorney's Office. So given that it was noticed as a public discussion and not an action item, we would just recommend that you continue it for us to take some preparation action on.
So we'll continue this to the next district meeting then.
Because they won't pay us till the end of the year for all these fees, I'm sure, so we've got some time to get it in place and we'll go with it. So, and by then, we should have a payment, hopefully, for last year's.
Spencer, do you have any additional thoughts on that?
Nope.
I'm assuming
I think I'm
there's
good.
sheep up there this summer. I don't know.
I would assume, unless, I know the sheep market really was bad last year, I'm assuming they're still in the business, but, because they are quite large.
We're gonna need as many weeds as we can remove for fire this year.
Yeah, that's for sure.
And tall grass.
Mike, do you have any additional
No,
thoughts?
I want the sheep in there.
So do we want to go ahead and continue? Would you like to make a motion, Mike or Spencer, to continue this?
I'd be glad to make a motion that we continue the already discussion to next meeting.
Spencer?
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
I,
Aye. So we'll continue this until the next special service district meeting. Okay. Number 4, review the notice pricing change in Rocky Mountain Power. Denise, want to speak to this?
Sure. So last board meeting, we had a notice from Rocky Mountain Power that they were changing the rate schedule. And there was some question of how that would impact the district. So this is just a follow-up to that conversation. So we've paid 4 months so far, year to date, and I compared what we paid in 2021 to the same months last year. 2 of those months were a decrease. We paid less than we had the prior year. And March and April were higher, but then I wanted to look at if we had used more kilowatt hours. And so I took the bills divided by the kilowatts to come up with a kilowatt per hour rate. And in only one instance did we pay more. We paid half a cent more for the well pump in April, which that half a cent more equated to a $5.61 increase over the prior year. So I don't think that that rate adjustment has negatively hurt the district, or it's going to impact the finances substantially. If anything, it looks like it's actually saving money.
looks good, actually. Pretty good. Not as much as we thought.
Right.
Yeah.
Are we sure that they can implement that raise into the usage?
Yes. I can see on the bill too, there is a substantial, well, there's a credit for when you use off-peak hours. So, you know, hopefully we get I think Brady has been doing that.
Getting better there.
Right,
We should see a lot better rate there this
year, too. Right. And with the SCADA system, I think that that probably helps. So
Thanks for doing that, Janine.
No
Looks
problem.
good. Deneen, I mean.
Deneen has her mind in everything that we do as a county financially. She knows everything. Thanks, Deneen.
You're welcome.
Any comments, Spencer?
Nope.
Anything from Adam, our counsel on this?
I have no comment.
If there's no further comment, shall we make a motion to accept this notice? Or is there a motion required?
There's not formally a motion required for this, which is to review.
Okay, so we then move on to agenda item number 5. Adam, would you like to speak to this? It's a proven order calling for a special meeting of the Soldier Summit Special Service District pursuant to Section 17B 1643 to amend the water fee schedule.
Yes, if you recall, last board meeting, we discussed this item. In the works, we've wanted to change the fee schedule to promote water conservation because there are a few of the tenants in the Soldier Summit area that use quite a bit of water. Anyway, we need to call it a special meeting in order to do this. We need to have a public hearing, public meeting. This was on the agenda last meeting, but we wanted to continue this to see how the Rocky Mountain Power pricing change would affect the tenants. And so, assuming that, I mean, just based off of what Deneen has said, if we're okay moving forward with the fee schedule that has been, that we've reviewed in the past, we just need to call a public hearing. And that can be done either at our next Soldier Summit board meeting, or we can do it at some point in between. It's up to you, whatever the board would decide. I would just recommend that we have 3 or 4 weeks notice because there are some special notice requirements that we have to follow in order to have a public meeting for a fee schedule change.
Alice, when's the next district meeting we have?
The next Soldier Summit,
Yes,
we have it, well, it's one to be approved here, but I have scheduled August 10th.
August 10th. Is August 10th too far
At
out?
10 a.m.
Deneen, could you review those rates for us?
Sure. So non-connected rate, so someone who's not connected to the water system, is $29.50 per month. A connected non-commercial is $46.50 per month. And then a connected commercial rate is $64.50 per month. Then we have just like 2 lots that only meet these conditions where it's a standby, where it can't be connected, and they pay $10 per month. And then for the connected lots, when they use water, it's $5 per 1,000 gallons. The other fees that we have are late fees are $25 a month, disconnection charge of $200, a reconnection charge of $200. That would be if for some reason they hadn't been paying their bills and needed to be disconnected from the water system. And then a connection fee of setting up the water is $300.
So we haven't adjusted for high usage.
Right, correct. That's what this public hearing would be intended to do, is that the more gallons you use, it would increase that rate per 1,000 gallon rate.
So I assume that we would have to have those rates in order to present in that meeting, right?
Correct. Yeah, and I think that there was a proposal last month. I'm trying to see if I can bring it up really quick. Bear with me.
Excuse me.
And if Adam has easier access to it.
Adam, do you remember what they were?
Excuse me.
You're muted, Adam.
Yes, I have it here. I'm not sure if I'm able to share my screen, but I can read them to you. The monthly fee would stay the same, but then what we have is for the first 3,000 gallons, it would stay at $5. And it's my understanding that most of the tenants in the area would be in that category. Most use less than that. When they start getting up to the 3,000 to 10,000 gallons, it bumps up to $10. Then from 10,000 to 25,000 gallons, it's $20. 25,000 to 100,000 is $35, and then over 100,000 is $50.
Is that per 1,000 gallons of water used?
I apologize. Yes, that's per 1,000 gallons.
Okay, $10 per thousand
After the first.
after the first, 3,000.
From 3 to 10.
So the change that's being proposed is this high usage one. Do you have a rate in place for that right now, for that many gallons?
No, it's just $5 per 1,000 gallons.
Okay. Now, does this meeting have to be in the PM? Because the one we did before for the rate increase had to be like after 5 o'clock or something, but we went ahead and had a regular meeting at the same time right after.
Adam had mentioned that at the last meeting.
You're right. This one has to be at 6 o'clock or later, giving those people who may be working an opportunity to come.
6 o'clock or later, so.
Can I just speak on that? If we wait until August, then we're gonna have to put everything in place. And we're missing the summer season when these guys are gonna burn through the water, so I think we need to get on it quicker than that. Hopefully we can cut some of these people back from using the water they're using.
And Adam, you said you need 3 to 4 weeks to do the notices and prepare everything?
Yes, if you could give us that much time, I think that would ensure that we get it taken care of.
So, and if we were to do this in June, today's the 12th.
What if we did it as early as the 2nd, Tom?
So would June 2nd be too soon for you?
Yeah, that's not.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, that's less than 3 weeks. I'm
We
correct.
don't want to do it on a Wednesday.
So the 4th week would be the June 12th, which is a Saturday. I'm just going to throw this out there. Is it always a certain day, like a Wednesday, or can it be another day?
I think it can be any day.
Yeah, I just want to avoid conflicts with commission meetings. Other
Yeah,
things.
because we have a commission meeting every Wednesday. It starts now at 2 o'clock, and those last somewhere between 2 to 4 hours, depending what's going on. So would Thursday, the 17th, be suitable? June 17th?
Works for me.
Would that work for you, Adam, to get things done?
That would work for me. Yep.
Spencer?
That worked for me too.
So 6 o'clock here, June 16th, 6 o'clock. Does that work for you, Ben and Deneen?
Was it the
You mean June
17th?
17th, right?
I'm sorry, what did I say? June 17th, yes.
That works for me.
Yep, that should be great.
17, 6 p.m. Okay. So we'll need a motion then to approve this date and time, location. Spencer, would you like?
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and set the Soldier Summit public hearing for the fee increase to June 7th, 2021 at 6 p.m.
Was that June 7th or June 17th? You broke up just a bit.
17th, sorry,
17th.
June 17th.
Okay. Second,
I will second that motion.
all in favor, say aye.
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 That passes then. So June 17th, 6 p.m. here in these chambers. Number 6, approve the placement of a lien on the property of Joe and Azuma Ortega. Staff ready to speak to that?
Yeah, I can speak to that. So these tenants have not paid in a few months, I believe, since November. We have followed the water billing and procedure guidelines, sent a notice to pay, a second courtesy notice. We've then sent the notice of disconnection, and still they have not reached out to us and paid their bill. And so the next step is to place a lien on that property. And so with the approval of the board, we'd be able to move forward and put the lien on that.
I would make a motion that we go forward and place the lien as discussed.
Second that motion.
Spencer, you broke up just a bit. Spencer, you broke.
I will second that motion. Did you not? You lost me again?
You got it. For clarity, before we take a vote on this, what does a lien look like? Is this a billing that is sent to them? How does this handled for this $301?
It's a
So
legal.
according to the statute, we just go and place the lien with the treasurer's office, and that will just kind of be on the record. And then once they pay it, we can go and have the lien released.
Okay. Then with that, all in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. That passes 3-0. Number 7 then, review financial statements. We'll turn to Deneen for that.
Sure. So in your packet, the financial statements consist of 3 items. The first page is a budget to actual comparison. The district's on track to not go over budget and to meet the revenue estimates. The next financial statement is the balance sheet. The 2 things that I usually like to point out on the balance sheet are, first of all, the cash balance, and second of all, the fund balance. For both the general operating fund and the capital projects fund, those 2 markers are positive balances, which several years ago the district had actually had a negative cash balance. Is not allowed by state law. So the balance sheet looks great. And then the last document are income statements, which again, based upon our budget to actual, we're on track and aren't overspending. Just maybe a note, the highest expenses for the district are the salary and wages and also the utility costs currently. And then of course, any capital projects that the district would incur. And maybe I'll just add some numbers to the record. So the cash of the general operating fund of the district as of April 30th, 2021 is $92,315. The fund balance of the general operating fund is $95,747. For the capital projects fund, the cash balance is $108,566, which is the same balance as the capital project.
Any discussion?
On the capital fund, a second well would come out of capital fund, would it not, Deneen?
Sure. So one of the things I was going to mention at the end, but this is a good segue, is the federal government has made the American Rescue Plan Act funds available. And one of the allowable uses of that funds is infrastructure, and specifically they've identified water systems. So that might be something that it might be worth the district pursuing, is either with Utah County / Wasatch County, or even the state of Utah is using those funds to help upgrade the system while it's available.
Do you know how we go about doing that, Deneen, getting those funds?
So I'm not sure that the state has made their process clear yet. And I'm not even sure if Wasatch County gets a direct contribution from the federal government. I know Utah County will because of the population size. And I think that Utah County's apportionment is going to be about $123 million. So I don't know what process the Board of County Commissioners would have for an application process. I mean, there's going to be more details coming. It's the Treasury just released the information last week or this week, so it's all kind of new of what to do with this money. I know that the Utah Association of Special Districts has reached out to local and special service districts to see if they have any projects that will be applicable to that fund, and we probably just need to keep close with that organization, and I'm sure they'll keep us updated on that. But if that's something the board is interested in, I think it makes sense to use that money if it's available before using district funds.
Do we know how much to drill another well would be? Have we had any history on that, Brady?
I did reach out to a gentleman that's helped us with some wells before, and to drill that well 600 feet to match the existing, we're right at $240,000 is their guesstimate. Plus, we still have to put a building up around that with all the pumps. So you're looking at, I'm guessing, high 300s to $400,000 to get that second well online.
I definitely think it's worth reaching out on these funds. We should take as much advantage of that as.
And a step farther, not only for the well, but we need to look at getting water across the street to the Soldier Summit side so we can get that system up to, and then that brings more money into our funds too, because we can start, they can expand the service station, people can start putting some cabins and stuff on the other side. So.
And that the cost of that's probably.
Now, Richard, I think, Commissioner, when you and I and Richard spoke, I think to do everything, I think we were talking in the $2.5 to $3 million range to get that line across and do the well and everything, if I'm not mistaken.
And we
In some
have,
ways, I think that line across may be more important.
well, we've got to have the numbers for the people hooked up to the system to justify the well. And certainly the across the street system should be replaced yesterday.
How long would it take to come back with a proposal of what's needed to install this well?
I've got everything pretty much, all we can do is throw some quick estimates, but I can get that stuff. I've got it down. I'm sorry I didn't bring it with me today.
We have just received the treasurer's guidance. It's 100 pages. And we also got a summary. I forgot how many pages. I think that's 6. So I haven't digested it fully. I've got some time to do that. What I understand is that we're allowed to use this money for infrastructure. And those are some of the key items we have in mind. We have until, I think, 2024 to obligate those funds, and then we have until 2026 to actually complete those expenditures. So we have a little bit of time. Let's add this to the next regular agenda, Brady, and see what we can come up with.
Costs on the line across the highway to the city plus the well.
Yes.
And speaking on we're probably 20 people away from hitting where the state mandates that we have a well put in, and I think you're going to see that happen this year because all the lots are sold now, from what I understand. So we're going to start seeing a rush, everybody wanting to get on the water system. So I think we're going to probably hit that this summer.
The timing is pretty good then. So we're looking at roughly $450,000 for everything to be done.
For the well itself, and then
Line,
the other side,
the structure.
I would guesstimate $2.5 million to get it across.
$2.5 million to get it across.
To go across the highway, yeah, because it's a fairly big process to go over with
Everything
the
has to go underground.
underground, and
Railroad
we're
tracks.
under the highway, and then we got to put fire hydrants in, water meters in at the lots. That's going to be quite extensive.
They will shout for joy.
Yes. The amount that Utah County's been allotted will go pretty quick. I know that. We'll have to talk to Wasatch County and see if we can work out a prorated share on that.
Okay. Yeah, and I can check with our manager's department and see if they have any information yet on what we're receiving.
Okay. That'd be good, and that'd be helpful. So we'll, Alice, if you can plan on adding this as an agenda item. So did we just create two motions here? In the process, the first motion to review financial statements, and that doesn't require a motion, I don't think. Just simply reviewed it, but it looks like we're creating a motion to have this additional item added for the next regular scheduled session. Mike, you want to create?
I think there is a motion for the budget, is not, there not, that needs to be made of acceptance?
It's just a review.
Okay.
This is a report more than just, okay.
Right. Yeah, this particular action doesn't require action.
So a motion then that we just created is to continue the discussion using American Rescue Plan Act funds to install a second well in the Soldier Summit District at the next regularly scheduled district meeting. Is that correct? Anyone like to make a motion?
I will make that motion of what Tom just said.
Perfect.
Spencer?
I will second what Tom just said.
There's a joke that goes with that one. Okay, so motion for August 2nd. I'll write this down. And this is regular session. August 12th, excuse me, August 10th or 12th?
10th.
10th. 10th.
Do we want to include in that the piping for the other side too?
Please, yes, let's bring in a whole,
Do we need to mention that?
uh,
Because they're two separate pieces. The well's different than the line going to the city.
So the motion would include a well
Yeah.
and for the line going across the road.
yes, yes, so it'd be the second well line connecting the city to the well. That works? Okay, I think I have that. So we, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Spencer?
Aye.
Okay, so that passes 3-0 then. Okay, item number 8. Denine?
Sure. So in the packet, there should be a list of 2021 expenditures to approve. Two of the items on the list are just formal ratification of what had been approved by email. Those two items are the portable restrooms from Lakeshore Portables and the repair from Whiting Construction. The other items are just sort of maintenance items that have come, smaller dollar maintenance items. Those were all the expenses that I'm aware of. I don't know, Brady, if you're aware of any that are coming up.
Actually do a sensor of $100. I guess I better stand up. Alice is going to shoot me. There is about a $200 fee to replace a sensor on that new SCADA system that was damaged during a storm up there. Just got the cost from him today, and he said it was going to be right at $200. And then our team will put that in, so there'll be a little bit of labor involved.
Did lightning hit it, Brady?
Well, it's in the ground 30 feet, so I don't know if the cell towers there got hit and then all their grounding goes into the ground and that took our sensor out. I don't know what took it out, but.
And then in addition to that, there's a 2021 last 2020 expense, which was a portion of the Rural Water Association of Utah membership. That's an allocation. That's not the full fee. That's just a part of the fee for the public works staff that go up and do the water testing. That's a requirement. So that's $47.10. So those are the payments that need to be approved in this meeting, which is those two lists plus the $200 for the SCADA sensor that
Okay.
Brady just mentioned.
Okay,
That's it. I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve those current obligations
have a
and
second.
invoices for payment.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Number 9. Yeah, Denise?
Sure. So I just want to, first of all, just make a side note is that our office, the clerk auditor, Utah County Clerk Auditor's Office has recently hired a new accounting technician, Christy Bayless. So she's sitting here, so I just wanted to introduce her to the board. As far as the billing summary, we have the lien that was issued. That was item number 6 previously that Adam discussed. We don't have any liens to be released. There were 3 customers who requested their fees to be waived. The first 2, Lot 53C and Lot 57C, they have never requested a fee waiver. So this would be a first-time request. The last lot, 52D, the board had waived $75 in late fees in 2018, but I also think that they had made a payment subsequent to this list being prepared, so they're actually paid in full. So we can probably just strike that one from the list. And then the second page has just some notes of potential lien issues that we may have coming up. The billing process outlined in the district's procedures is that we send a first notice of past due balance, a second notice of past due balance, and then we send through registry a notice of disconnection. So these are people that have escalated to the point they've at least received a first notice. So there's no action to be taken on these. It's just to more make the board aware.
I have a question.
Who is that, Jack? We haven't had a public,
Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm so sorry. I was on the phone and I didn't know my mic was unmuted. My bad. I'm really sorry.
All right.
okay.
So clarification on 52D on number 3 for potential fees to be waived. Even though they paid, they wanted to see if they could at least get a credit for 1 month for $25.
Who is that again?
52D.
So what-
52D,
the last
okay.
Box there in front of you there.
This one here, okay. Spencer, I'm okay with waiving these, are you? And Tom?
I'm fine with that, yes.
Yo, Fatty, go eat.
Then I will go ahead and make that motion then that we waive 53C, 57C, 52D on those.
Yo,
Since this is a first time event.
And just clarification, 52D, the district has previously waived $75 in
Dude,
fees.
stop. You're literally not funny.
And they're only requesting a $25 waiver as opposed to the 50 that's listed, so.
So on 52D, then that motion would be for
I hate
25.
niggas, I hate 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 niggas. Yo,
I think we're being visited.
You guys in the commission chambers are totally silent right now.
Can you hear us now?
You hear us? Okay, Spencer.
Spencer, can you hear us now?
We are. Now you're not.
Can you hear us now, Spencer?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Okay. Did you hear everything that Mike had described?
I heard nothing, sorry.
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
heard a lot of things, but nothing but from Mike.
Spencer, I made a motion that we go ahead and accept these fees to be waived for 53C, 57C, and 52D. 52D will be changed from $50 to $25.
Okay, I will second that motion.
Okay. So did we create 2 motions here? So first of all, we are approving or rejecting, but authorized payment, no, excuse me, let me back up again. Deny outstanding receivables, past due accounts, place or remove liens, and take necessary corrective action. If we waive the fees, are we creating a second motion out of this?
Just for simplicity's sake, I would recommend we break it up into two separate motions.
Okay, so the first motion is to waive the fees identified in 53C, 57C, 52D, late fees as identified, and agenda item number 9, with 52D being $25 instead of $50. All in favor, say aye.
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 Three, and aye, so that's 3-0. And then the second motion will be then to accept agenda item number 9.
I can make that motion also that we accept the bill summary as identified by Deneen.
I will second that motion.
So all in favor, say aye.
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 3-0, that passes. Number 10, it reads, set a date, time, and location for the next board meeting, at which identifies as 10 a.m. August 10th, and here in these chambers. And I got this note from Alice, of course, that due to commission time, meeting time has changed 1 hour earlier from 3 to 2. We're changing Soldier Summit regular meetings to Tuesdays instead of Wednesdays, if that can meet other members' approval. So would it work to have these on Tuesdays instead of Wednesdays in the future?
I'm fine with that.
What time would we have them? I have another county meeting at 8 that doesn't always get over on the second Tuesday of the month. Does it have to be the second Tuesday?
It does not. Let me see my own calendar here.
On the day,
And I'm usually would be done by 10, so we can work with that if that works best for everybody.
Commissioner, on this agenda, it's showing the 10th of August,
Which is the second.
which is a Tuesday. Okay, sorry, I was on a different calendar.
Let's just plan on it. If it's meeting remotely, I'll figure out how to step out of my other meeting or whatever by the 10 o'clock time.
Would a third Tuesday be better for you, Spencer?
I don't have any meetings yet. That would be better if we can.
Mike helps.
I'm fine.
So a third
Fine with that.
Tuesday. So the next one would be the 17th. So we'll make adjustment to the agenda item. Instead of August 10th, read it as August 17th, 2021 at 10 a.m. Does that meet your approval then?
Yep.
Okay. August.
Thank you. I'll make a motion that we go ahead and set our next meeting for August 17th, 10 p.m.
Third Tuesday. Okay. We have a second on that.
I will second that.
Any other notes on that, Alice, before we make a vote on it?
We just want to make clear that it's 10 a.m. I
10
think
a.m.
10 p.m. may have been said at some
Yeah.
point. But
10 a.m.,
10
third,
10 a.m. and Tuesday.
third Tuesday, 17th being the first one. Okay. Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Got that. Okay. Are there any public comments on what we have reviewed thus far?
I had a member contact me by the name of Robert Barrett, and he was asking me a question I couldn't answer, and it was, does the county have enough shares to drill the next well? And I would assume that we do. I'm not sure how all that works.
From what I understand, the county does. That was put into place years ago when this, the first well was drilled. My understanding is we do have the shares to do another well, yes.
Great.
Would you also add that next time when we meet?
Yes, I will
And
verify.
verify that, but does Wasatch have a percentage of the water shares involved in this because it's their community as well?
That's something we'll have to check. I think where the well's on Utah County in Utah County, it's probably Utah County that has the the shares. The biggest shareholders in that well are the folks, the Dewsnips, or I believe, that bought the property that the Allreds have. I think they have as much water in that well as we do, if not more.
Okay.
Grady, are you positive that well's in Utah County?
I'm not.
So when you come back, just please verify that,
Okay.
and then if
Will do.
it's part of it's in Wasatch, then what part does Wasatch need to play in that too?
Okay, we'll check into
I'm
that.
sure
Assume
that,
that the shares are in the SSD's name, aren't they?
Yes, they are. They're in Soldier Summit District, not in the counties. They are.
so I'm
Where the
anticipating.
well sits,
Yeah,
Because he put that new fence up on that road, and that fence is west of the well. And all of that property, that 800 acres, you know, sits in Wasatch County. That's the only reason I bring that.
now, and he does own where the property sits, but I believe there was
Yes.
some easements done for that, so he does own that property. So, but we can find out where, it might be in Wasatch, I don't know, but it is owned by the Special Service District.
okay.
Did you know how to spell his, it's Dewsnip?
Yeah, DEWSNIP, I believe, Dewsnip,
Okay.
I think is what his sign said. He posted a sign up there the last time I was up there, so people could call him, I guess, so, thank you.
Good insight. Thank you.
One comment real quick, James McClure, Utah County. With the Allred situation and that, whoever makes those phone calls, they need to know that this new rate's gonna apply and they need to get the bill passed. And if we're gonna let those people use, let's say, unlimited water, is the other property owner up there that wants to fill his pond gonna come back and say, well, you know, we're doing two things here that, you know, don't quite jive? Do you see what I'm saying, Mike?
Yeah.
So we need to, okay? Thank you.
Attention to that, thank you.
Are there any other public comments?
Yeah. It's a real simple one.
State your name if you would, and where you're from.
My name's David Sudweeks. I do the snow removal up on the subdivision up there, and we're now actually clearing 11 miles of road. What we're running into, I think, is just a futuristic problem. With the roads being closed, the snowmobilers are typically on the sides of the road where the fire hydrants are. We're currently trying to contact the cable company, the power company, and obviously the fire hydrants to see if there's some way we can get some permanent snow markers on those. Right now, we're trying to get volunteers to put up pieces of PVC, but I can see in the future some problems with people wrecking snowmobiles into hydrants and possibly getting hurt and having problems that way.
That'd be awakening.
So, yeah.
Oh.
So, I guess I just try to bring it to the attention of the water board that might be something that we'd like to see done, just so that those are marked.
So all the fire hydrants, et cetera.
Yeah, the biggest access to the development is you got a group of people that think that the power line is an easement or is not part of the development, and that they come over. That's where 90% of the people that snowmobile up there come on that property from when I was.
Yeah, well, now it's the residents. So, what they're doing is, because we're plowing the roads, but we only do it once a week due to budgetary concerns. So we'll plow the roads. It's not too fun to ride a snowmobile on an almost dry road. Even if there's a couple inches, it's gravelly on the new skegs, on the nicer machines, and so they'll hop up on the berm and run on the side, which is exactly where all of those things are. And so we've had some instances where people have hit those, which isn't fun, and I can just see a liability issue happening later on if it doesn't get addressed. So they're just driving their snowmobiles on the road, but a lot of them will leave their vehicles at the bottom or bring their vehicles into their cabin and unload, and then take it back to the bottom in case they have a storm overnight, and then ride their snowmobiles in, and they'll ride their snowmobiles around the subdivision on the edge of that road as well. So that's really, I think it's the residents more than other people, and other people don't care, they're off in the trees, but the residents are, a little more concerned with private property, and so they're staying on the road easement and just kind of going by the road, so.
Oh, thank you. Brady, is this something we need to have a separate agenda item in the future, or is this something we can?
We probably need to discuss it at the next meeting, because there'll be some funds involved there for us to, we'll have to look and see what best way to handle this would be.
I will have a clear idea of what we have in way of the Rescue Act money. Maybe we could apply to that as well.
Okay.
If you could do that.
Yep, we can get some costs.
I don't know if we can make a
that-
motion on this after we've closed it out, but thanks. Ben?
Yeah, and I'll just, to make the board aware of something, you approved in the expense reports, the Whiting construction repair of the water lines there. We've been really grateful at the attorney's office and with Public Works for the responsiveness of the board members when we've had those kind of emergency repairs. We just recently received from our purchasing manager here at Utah County a letter of determination that we could move forward with a contract with Whiting Construction to do that service in the future without having to do it on an emergency basis like we have in the past, and that we can use the same vendor because of their familiarity with the system and the low bids that they have given us in the past that have won previous bids, so without it going through an RFP process. So to make the board aware of that, we will be putting something together for a future board meeting that you can look at and review, and if you choose to go that direction, you can approve a contract with Whiting Construction to avoid having to go through that fire drill of emergency approvals. But again, wanted to express our appreciation for how responsive you've been when we've had those needs in the past.
Thanks. Thanks, Ben. Are there any other comments, public comments? Any other comments from staff? Anyone online, Alice? Okay, I see none. Shall we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion, we adjourn this meeting.
All in favor, say aye, or second? All in
I'll
favor?
second it.
Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.
Goodbye.
Look so forward to that.